Hi guys, hi creative friends, this is Finnabair from my studio and this is my next video journal. And oh boy, the topic I've decided to talk about is quite big. I think it's serious for many of you. It's important for many of you. It's important for me. So my plan is to give you some hints, some advice, some information that may just help you understand the whole process and two sides of it. And I just hope it may just help you maybe get ready if you're trying to get into the team. I'm not an expert, but I've got experience. That means I was already on both sides. I was picking the team and I have to pick the team every year. On the other hand, I was a team member for brands and for shops for years before I started to have my own brand with Prima. So I've decided to talk about design team calls and creative teams now because this is the time when there are changes on my own team as well. And some of you will notice that there is no design team call this time. We've decided to invite the people who we think were representing the brand beautifully before, and I would like you to know, the reasons behind it as well. Maybe that's going to give you the right impression that I really appreciate your work and I keep watching you. And if you really are interested in working with Finnabair products, just do so, and as long as you're visible and as long as I can see you, it's very likely that something good may happen. I think for some of the people it will be important to explain what are really the teams, what are the design teams or creative teams. Sooner or later, most of the brands and most of the shops will decide they need somebody who's going to help them with promotion of what they are offering to people. So the shops or the brands, they are going to look for somebody who's going to be the spokesperson or the somebody who can provide examples of the work. And in many cases, they decide to have a regular team of people who is going to do that job for them. So the design team would be the group of talented and most of the times quite well-known designers, or just simply, let's say, experienced crafters and artists whose responsibility is to explain the product to the people, show the unique and interesting or easy to approach ways of using the product. So basically provide tutorials, reviews, and all these things that you can find on YouTube, Facebook, blogs, wherever you go. Most of the brands decide to have this kind of group of people. Some of them change them every year. Some of them decide to keep part of the team. They decide to add new people. There are no rules here. Whatever works for the brand is okay. And if you are thinking about getting into this kind of team, you have to expect there will be some rules to follow. So it's, as I said, it's a little bit like applying for the job, but this is not like a serious job. It's something you do most of the times part-time. For some people, it may turn into the full-time job, but this is quite serious thing, and then it takes years before you will be able to get to this point. So let's talk about the responsibilities of the typical design team member. So once you apply, it's good to know what are the requirements and how many projects you are going to be providing per month, for example. If they need to have tutorials, if they have to have maybe some product information, some reviews. So you will be expected to deliver certain kind of product. It may be written article, it may be video, it may be social media presence, some nice quick shots you can put on Instagram. Different shops, different brands require different things, and your creativity is very welcomed most of the times. So that would be usually written in a kind of the contract, or it may be just like a set of rules that you need to read before you finally commit to the team. The biggest responsibilities are usually being punctual with your project or your posting or your article, being on time, because this is responsibility you take on yourself. They will count on you. They will be thinking, okay, this person committed to be on time, and we have the schedule, everything is organized around that. So being punctual is very important because it is respectful. And of course, accidents happen, but that is one of the most important things, punctuality. And the second, fresh ideas, creativity, and ability to transfer your knowledge to the others. So the ability to create a tutorial or a nicely written text or beautiful project that will inspire people to try to create, to buy the product. So that is usually what you are required to do. The more you put your heart into the whole process, the better the results, because you are able to provide better work and you are able to get into nicer contact with people. I made a lot of friends in the teams, and we were supporting each other, we were helping each other, and the team spirit, teamwork, being generally a team player is an important thing when you are joining the team, I think, because the whole team is working together to help the brand be visible and attractive, and the shop to be active on the market. And you know, it's always easier to do it together than to be one person just doing whatever she or he is thinking is going to be the best. So teamwork is important. When it comes to the other side, what you can expect as a design team member from the shop or from the brand, it really depends. There's a huge range, starting from discounts on the product, gift vouchers, through free products sent to you, free shipping of orders. Finally, in some situations, you're going to get a chance to teach the class or take part in some special event. And finally, in some cases, some brands also may offer some money gratification. You have to check exactly when you are applying, and you will know what to expect. And think about this just as a part of the gratification, of course, because the second part, and that may be very valuable for some people, is the ability to be more visible and more recognizable and earning some experience as well. And I'm not one of these people who believe you should do everything for exposure. I think there should be good balance between exposure and the gratification. So I think it's kind of natural that if you want to present the product to the people, you should be able to give the product to them to try, right? So I would be more on the side where there's some nice balance, and it really all depends on you, what you expect. If this gratification that you are going to get for your work is going to be okay for you, is it going to be more than expected or less than expected? It's nothing wrong in being disappointed, and it's nothing wrong in being nicely surprised, right? So they may be different ways for different people. Expectations are different, and also the teams are different. Of course, smaller shop or the small brand that is just starting the presence on the market is not going to offer you huge amounts of gratifications, because simply it will be very hard for them to do so. So try to think about both sides of the story, and many times it is really the case that owners or the brands are trying their best to provide whatever they can, because they understand really the team is the way to promote the product in a proper way. This is what I believe. It's teamwork. I do a lot of work myself, but I would not be here where I am if I didn't have support of my friends, my creative team, and my ambassadors, because this whole work is done together. Maybe I would add one more thing that is important. Quite often it is common practice that you would have a certain time where you are required to be on the team. There may be like minimum or maximum. So usually the term is 6 months or 1 year, and it may be extended. In my case, it is 1 year, and we are usually offering the extension as well to some of the design team members if we decide this is the case, if both sides agree, of course, because sometimes they may not. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and see you in the next video journal. Thank you so much. It was Finnabair from my studio, and I hope to see you again very soon.